There's something so exhilarating about going on a first date with somebody. You don't know what's going to happen, but the possibilities are endless. This person could be your future partner. Maybe you might get laid. Maybe you might become friends with benefits. Maybe you never see them again. You don't know what's going to happen, and that's the beauty of it. Your loins are firing, and you're just so excited before you see them for the first time. And sometimes the first date goes really well, and it takes a second date or before a second date to realize the person across from you is actually completely fucked in the head. And you dodge a bullet by the skin of your teeth. It's like Neo in the Matrix when he ducked and just the bullets flew over him. That's exactly how this girl must have felt when this dude, whom she went on only one date with, raised a giant fuss over not being invited to go to a wedding with her. This entire text thread was posted onto Reddit a few weeks ago, and it became one of the most upvoted posts in this subreddit for the month of January because it is absolutely bonkers. This guy is so deeply and innately insecure that I'm gonna call him Napoleon for the sake of this video, and he's gonna be our protagonist. So the woman in question posted this thread onto the subreddit saying, telling a guy I went on one date with that he can't come to my sister's wedding plus updates. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts and get ready for the big ride because it is a cringe express. You're gonna feel it in your core and you're gonna feel so bad for this girl, but so happy at the end of the video. Now, of course, I gotta give Napoleon a bit of a nasally voice here, so you're gonna see my voice acting chops come into full display here. Napoleon starts us off here, and the first thing he says is,
I just don't understand why it's such an issue for you.
And then she goes, it's not an issue, it's just you don't know these people, and they don't know you.
It's not about whether I know them or not. It's about how you'd rather bring some random as a +1 than the person you're supposedly wanting a relationship with.
First thing, if someone you just met and went on one date with is giving you issues about not going to a wedding with you, immediate red flag. Straight up, run away as quickly as you can. And I don't know why anybody would want their second date to be at the wedding of one of their sisters. That is just not the place at all you want to have a second date at. Like, bro, you're out of your mind, Napoleon. Now, the girl is kind of confused and is hitting him back with all the facts. Dude, we've known each other for like a month. Yeah, I want a relationship with you, but I'm not taking you to my sister's wedding as our second date when I'm part of the bridal party. I really don't mean to offend, but I don't know whether or not this is gonna pan out yet, and I don't want to gamble with my sister's wedding like that. She's being about as reasonable as any human being could be. She's explaining to him in long texts that this is not a good idea, as any normal human being would do. But Napoleon is relentless. He is not gonna let this slide.
That's pretty disappointing to hear, I'm not gonna lie. What happened to you feeling a connection? We had such a great time last week, and now you're not sure whether this is gonna work or not?
I did have a great time, but a regular date is so different from a wedding. I don't know if I feel comfortable with having you there.
I make you uncomfortable?
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what it sounds like. If you're not ready for a commitment, maybe you shouldn't be looking for a long-term relationship.
I'll think about it, okay? That's the best I can give you right now. This guy is just twisting her words over and over again. He's ignoring the fact that maybe it's not a good idea to have a date at a wedding. She's saying, I don't feel comfortable with you being there. And he's like, I make you uncomfortable? Me? This guy makes you uncomfortable? No, it couldn't be me. I couldn't do it. So obviously this girl is kind of confused, very taken aback, and she told him she'd think about it to get him to shut up. And the next day she responds to him with a nice message telling him why this is not a good idea. Hey, I've thought about it and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to bring you to the wedding. It just doesn't make sense to me to introduce you to my entire family on our second date, and on top of it, would just make the wedding more hectic for my sister by introducing her to a new person. I was also pretty concerned by the way you reacted when I told you no. It felt pushy, manipulative, and it really just changed my perception of you and turned me off of wanting to bring you. So I'm sorry, but I also don't think we should go out again. I hope you understand. This girl just woke up because she's realizing this guy is a real piece of work and a dickhead, and Also, to point out the obvious here, she's looking out for her sister. Can you imagine if one of your relatives brought somebody along to your wedding when it was their second date? I would be like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? You goddamn idiot. You need to be medicated. I would be incredibly upset if somebody did that at my wedding. Napoleon was very upset also, but for the wrong reasons, because he took this incredibly personally.
I see. Well, I didn't realize wanting to go to a wedding was such a turnoff for girls. But thanks for nothing, I guess.
He's flipping this into a boys versus girls thing. Never does it enter his mind to say, I'll go out with her on a second date after the wedding. That's a possibility. That's okay. We can do that. But no, he is just super mega insecure, and his Napoleon complex comes running. Well, it wasn't really wanting to go to the wedding that I had an issue with. More that you got weird and kind of argumentative when I told you I wasn't comfortable with it. And I wasn't saying wanting to go to a wedding is a turnoff, just that the way you acted made me more uncomfortable with the idea of you there.
You know, blank, I was really excited to see where this went. Kinda shitty of you to imply that you wanted a second date when we went out, but then switched it up on me like that, though.
She switched it up because she's realizing what a manipulative piece of garbage you are, Napoleon. Buddy, this is not the way to talk to women, bro. Just because she told you she wanted a second date doesn't mean she can't change her mind later. You made her feel uncomfortable, you stupid idiot. Kudos to her, by the way, for realizing this and not getting manipulated, because this guy is a walking red mine. Not even a red flag, a mine. This guy should take some courses on how to properly talk to women, because this right here is not it, buddy. Oh, but Napoleon is just getting started with his little rant here.
Like, it's one thing to not want to go out with me, but it's really not cool of you to make me feel like you're interested one day and then make me feel like a creep the next. Like, I don't deserve that. Especially because I was really polite on our date. Like, I made extra sure of it. But nah, you'd rather go with some rando. Worse than that, didn't you say you were just gonna go with friends? Funny that you could go and be seen with a tall, charismatic man, but you'd rather be seen as alone. But that's none of my business.
He's kind of flip-flopping here because he's saying she was going to go with somebody else, but then now he's saying she's going to go alone instead of with a tall, charismatic man like Napoleon. That's the first of 3 red flags in his little rant right here. The second one is that he's saying, I made sure to be extra polite on our date. I made sure of it, which means he's not actually that kind of person in real life. He was just putting on an act to impress her and try to get with her. And the third red flag is he's saying, oh, you made me feel interested, but now you don't want to go out with me. I don't deserve that. I'm not a creep. Bro, everything about you is screaming to the girl, run away. Don't stay here for another second. Block this guy, run away, report his number to the authorities, because this shit is not normal. This girl has had enough at this point. She is like, I've tried to be reasonable, and it is not working. So now she's going on the offensive instead of playing defense. Alrighty, I'm about to leave for work, so I really don't have time to respond to all of this, but F it. Just so we're clear, we've known each other for a month. We've met for the first time last week. You keep saying some rando, but you realize that's you, right? To me and everybody else at the wedding, you would be the random guy that I don't know. Second of all, you did act fine on our date. You were very polite. I appreciated it. I was willing to go on a second date, but that was before I learned that A, you couldn't take no for an answer, and B, that you felt the need to twist all my words, and C, that you think it's an insult for me to take friends to a wedding. Completely reasonable explanation. She's tired of this. She's realizing this guy's an idiot, and she's pointing out all the flaws in his logic, and she just wants to forget about this and move on. So they obviously met on a dating app, and they had been talking for 3 weeks, then decided to go out on an actual date in person for the first time. Let's get back onto the main topic at hand here, because Napoleon is not happy with her answer.
Man, I can't believe this. Were you ever even interested in me? Or were you just interested in a free meal? Is that why you said you'd take me to that Mexican place near your house for our next date? Because you knew you'd never actually have to? Is that why you said you wanted to take it slow? Wouldn't even kiss me?
Because you felt like it'd be such a big deal?
I mean, Jesus Christ, Blank, it was a kiss. I wasn't trying to F you in public.
Whoa, buddy, this guy is going off the rails. He has been festering in all these feelings for the past week now. He really wanted to kiss her on the first date, and it's completely okay if you don't want to kiss somebody on the first date. That's fine, you just met them. That's okay. And it's also even more understandable if you don't want to fornicate on the first date, which this girl clearly didn't want to do, but Napoleon was very persistent. Dude, stop calling me. I said I'm at work.
You said you were on your way to work.
This guy is so precise about all the little details, just nitpicking everything that he can to try to get her to feel as uncomfortable as she possibly can, which is literally female repellent. Dudes, do not act like this, ever. Now she's responding to the text that he sent her earlier. I went out with you in the first place because I was interested. I said I wanted to go to Pineda's as a second date because I was interested. I want to take it slow because I was interested. Get your head out of your ass. Thanks for showing me that I dodged a bullet. I would have had to apologize to my parents after you inevitably flew off the handle when one of them said no to you. And by the way, I didn't kiss you because your breath smelled absolutely rancid. Invest in a toothbrush. I'll be blocking you now. And then he hits her back with a little desperate, wait! She dodged that bullet even better than Neo did in The Matrix. And I guess she must have really good parents because her parents would have definitely, like she said, don't date this guy the first time they ever saw him. And if he's at your sister's wedding, that's an even bigger problem because now you got to get rid of him. I thought there was another update to this story, but it turns out that's the end. C'est fini. And that little wait message is just perfect because that is the last image that she will ever have of Napoleon in her mind. That little helpless whimper of a message, wait, message that he sent before she blocked him. And I hope she never hears or sees from this guy again because this guy's a walking red mine and he needs to stay away from women. This guy should honestly just either switch sides or commit to celibacy because this is not the way to go about it, man. You need friggin' help. Anyway, I just want to share this load of cringe with you guys today. That's it for now. I'll see you next time.